Kai moved carefully through the ruined streets, his boots crunching over shards of metal and glass. Smoke curled lazily from the remains of buildings, a reminder that the Vekari, the alien machines that had invaded this world, had no mercy for anything human. He kept his eyes alert, scanning the shadows for movement, listening for the hum of their energy weapons. In his hands, he carried a set of repair tools, lightweight but precise. They were the instruments of survival, and today they might just save a life. He had been called to this part of the city after a distress signal flickered weakly on the comlink. The signal came from a combat suit, heavily damaged, abandoned, or perhaps still occupied. Kai didn't know yet. There was no time to wonder. Every moment he lingered in the open increased the risk of discovery by the Vekari patrols that scoured the area. His heart pounded, but his hands moved with practiced calm, a rhythm honed over years of field repairs. The suit lay partially crushed beneath a collapsed beam. Its armor was unlike any Kai had ever seen. Sleek, angular, almost organic in design, it seemed alive in a way normal human technology was not. Sparks flickered from exposed circuits, and a low hiss of escaping air marked a breach in the helmet. Kai knelt, setting down his tools and examining the damage. "This is advanced," he murmured to himself, though he doubted anyone else could hear him over the distant rattle of Vekari gunfire. He reached into his bag and pulled out a portable welding kit, its blue flame dancing across the dark metal. His hands worked methodically, reconnecting circuits, reinforcing fractured plating, sealing the suit's compromised joints. Every repair he made required concentration and precision. One slip, one miscalculation, and the suit, or the person inside, might not survive. As he worked, Kai's mind wandered briefly. He thought about how humans had always been the underdogs. The Vekari were machines of perfection, designed to fight with efficiency, relentless and unfeeling. Humans, on the other hand, had weaknesses, fragile bodies, unpredictable emotions, and technology that could not match the aliens in sheer power. But humans had something machines did not. Creativity, adaptability, courage. He had seen it countless times in battles where humans should have fallen, yet survived through clever traps, daring maneuvers, and the ability to improvise. It was why he, a simple field engineer, could even consider repairing this suit under fire. The helmet hissed and groaned as he sealed it. Kai paused for a moment, fingers brushing against the smooth metal. He didn't know who was inside. The suit could belong to anyone, a soldier, a scout, perhaps someone from the enhanced human program rumored to exist on the edge of human-controlled space. Rumors spoke of super soldiers, genetically enhanced humans trained for extreme conditions, but no one outside the top command had ever seen one in action. Kai had never thought he would meet one. A sudden noise snapped him back to the present. The whir of servos and the faint mechanical click of approaching Vekari made him freeze. He held his breath, eyes scanning the empty streets. Then a patrol of alien drones passed by, oblivious to his presence. Once the threat moved away, Kai exhaled and returned to his work, faster now, every movement precise and deliberate. Minutes felt like hours as he continued the repairs. He replaced circuits with improvised substitutes, reinforced joints with carbon fiber strips scavenged from the surroundings, and patched punctures in the armor plating. Finally, he stepped back and wiped the sweat from his brow. The suit was functional. It might not be perfect, but it would move, it would fight, and it would protect its occupant. Kai took a deep breath, preparing to lift the suit and move it out of the danger zone. He had learned in the field that a suit alone, no matter how advanced, was useless without the human inside to operate it. Slowly, carefully, he opened the helmet hatch. The air inside smelled faintly of burnt circuitry and antiseptic, a reminder that the occupant had been alive until recently, but barely. He didn't look inside yet. He had learned a trick early in his career. Sometimes what you don't see allows you to act faster. He hoisted the suit onto his back, feeling the weight, and started moving toward the safer areas of the city. The streets were still dangerous. Debris made every step uncertain. Fires burned in pockets, sending waves of heat and smoke into the air. Vekari patrols were everywhere, and the occasional laser shot sizzled too close for comfort. Kai's mind worked rapidly, plotting paths through alleys and ruined buildings, avoiding open spaces where he could be easily targeted. Every moment was a gamble, but Kai had become accustomed to the thrill, the tension that came from surviving where death lurked. He ducked into a crumbling building for cover, setting the suit down gently against a wall. The occupant stirred inside, a faint movement that made Kai's pulse quicken. He didn't rush. He had learned that rushing often led to mistakes. Instead, he checked the surroundings again before kneeling in front of the suit. He placed a hand on the chest plate, feeling the faint vibration of life support systems reconnecting and stabilizing. A soft hiss came from the helmet as the internal air circulation restarted. Then came a sound that made Kai's heart jump, a low, human sigh, barely audible. The occupant was waking. Kai kept his voice calm. "You're safe now," he said softly. "I repaired it. You can move when you're ready." Kai's breath caught, though he still didn't see the face. All he knew was that whoever this was, they were remarkable. The movements were precise, confident, and practiced. The suit's occupant stood fully for the first time, flexing and adjusting as if testing every repaired joint. Kai couldn't help but notice the difference between this person and ordinary soldiers. Every action was fluid, almost elegant, yet carried a quiet strength. He realized this wasn't just another soldier, this was someone extraordinary. Outside, the city continued to groan under the weight of destruction. The distant hum of alien engines reminded Kai that time was short. He would have to move the suit and its occupant to safety before the Vakari discovered them. He gestured toward a back alley. "Follow me," he said. "I know a place we can hide." Someone had designed it to survive, to fight, to endure, and now it had a human, or near-human, operator who could make it work. As they moved, Kai's mind raced with possibilities. Who was she? How had she survived in this suit so far? Was she part of the rumored enhanced human program? And if so, what did that mean for the rest of humanity? He had always known humans could be clever, could find ways to survive against impossible odds. But seeing it in action, even partially, made him realize the truth. Humans were capable of far more than anyone had imagined. Finally, they reached a small building that had somehow survived the destruction. Kai guided the suit inside and set it against a wall for stability. He gave one last glance around to ensure no Vakari had followed. Then slowly, he turned back to the occupant who had paused, still under the helmet's shadow. "You can take it off," he said quietly. "You're safe here, at least for now." Now the moment of revelation had come, and yet he did not rush her. He knew that, whoever she was, she had survived horrors he could only imagine. Respect demanded patience. Then the helmet began to lift. Slowly, deliberately, the air shifted, charged with anticipation. Kai's heart pounded, his hands tightening into fists at his sides. He braced himself, not knowing what to expect. And then, at last, the helmet revealed her face. Kai froze. He had expected someone remarkable, perhaps enhanced, but nothing had prepared him for the truth. She was human, but not ordinary. Her eyes burned with intelligence and experience far beyond her apparent age. Her expression was calm, yet there was strength in every line, a quiet confidence born of survival and skill. Kai realized in that instant that he had been standing in the presence of someone extraordinary, someone who represented the best of humanity. He could only stare, his mind racing with awe, curiosity, and a hint of fear. In that moment, he understood something fundamental. Humanity was not defined by technology alone, nor by brute strength. It was defined by courage, ingenuity, and the willingness to face impossible odds and survive. And this soldier, whatever her past, was living proof of that truth. The room was silent except for the faint hum of the repaired suit. Outside, the war continued. But inside, in this small shelter amid the ruins, Kai knew something had changed. Humanity had a fighter capable of turning the tide. And for the first time, he felt a spark of hope. Kai took a step forward, extending a hand in solidarity. "I'm Kai," he said softly. She met his gaze, her eyes steady and unwavering. "I know," she replied, and in that simple acknowledgement a partnership was formed, one that would test the limits of human courage, ingenuity, and spirit in the battles to come. The city outside groaned under the weight of battle. Fires burned unchecked in some districts, while others lay in eerie silence, the result of alien patrols that had already passed through. Kai led the enhanced soldier. Her name he still didn't know, through narrow alleys and crumbling corridors, careful to avoid open streets where the Vakari drones might spot them. Every step was a calculated risk. He was an engineer, not a soldier, but he had learned long ago that survival demanded both courage and intelligence. "Where are we going?" she asked, her voice calm but commanding, cutting through the hum of distant laser fire. "There's a supply depot about 3 blocks away," Kai replied. "We can hide there, patch up, and plan our next move." He glanced at her suit, now fully functional thanks to his repairs. "You'll need to move cautiously. I've stabilized your systems, but the armor can only do so much against those drones." Her movements were precise, almost elegant, as she adjusted her stance, testing the suit's repairs. Despite the chaos around them, she moved with confidence. Kai couldn't help but admire her skill. Humans were capable of ingenuity under pressure, but she seemed to embody it in every action. As they moved through the streets, the distant sound of energy weapons crackling echoed through the ruins. Kai ducked behind a wall, pressing his back against the cold metal, and gestured for her to do the same. A squad of Vakari patrols passed by, their metallic bodies gleaming under the dim light. They moved with mechanical precision, scanning the streets, their sensors detecting heat signatures and vibrations. Kai's mind raced. He could rig traps, create diversions, anything to give them a chance to move safely. He pulled a small device from his bag, a simple but effective electromagnetic pulse generator he had built himself, and activated it. A low hum grew louder, then surged in a pulse that disabled nearby Vakari sensors temporarily. The patrol halted, confused, their heads turning as if searching for something they couldn't see. "Move," Kai whispered, and they slipped past the frozen drones. Once they were at a safer distance, he exhaled and allowed himself a brief smile. Even in the face of advanced alien technology, human creativity could prevail. The enhanced soldier glanced at him, a faint curve of amusement on her lips. "Not bad," she said. "Humans can be clever." Kai set down his tools, pulling out small repair kits and spare circuits, while the soldier observed quietly. "You did this yourself?" she asked, gesturing to the repaired armor. Kai nodded. "Field repair, it's what I do. You'd be surprised what humans can fix with limited resources. Ingenuity is a survival skill." Ingenuity is exactly what we need against the Vakari. And in her presence, that truth felt almost tangible. The depot provided a brief moment of calm, a rare reprieve from the constant threat of alien patrols. Kai examined the surrounding area, making mental notes of possible escape routes and places they could hide if needed. Every building, every alleyway could be a potential lifeline or a trap. Survival depended on preparation and adaptability. "Why are you here?" Kai asked cautiously. "Were you part of a mission?" Even in an unfamiliar city under constant threat, she had remained composed, calculating every step. He realized that humans were capable of remarkable feats, not because of technology alone, but because of courage, intelligence, and adaptability. He offered her some water from his pack. She accepted it without hesitation, then tested the suit's mobility once more. The movements were flawless, almost superhuman. Yet Kai could see the human element in every motion, quick thinking, anticipation, and reaction. She was a testament to the potential of humanity, both enhanced and ordinary. Outside, the sounds of battle continued. Drones scuttled across rooftops, and energy blasts occasionally lit up the sky. Kai and the soldier knew they couldn't remain in one place for long. The Vakari were relentless, and humans were only safe when they stayed unpredictable, creative, and alert. "We need to move again," Kai said. "The longer we stay, the higher the risk." Kai led, using his knowledge of the city's layout to avoid detection. She followed closely, her movements silent but confident, ready to act if danger appeared. A sudden explosion shook the street ahead, sending debris raining down. Kai pressed against a wall, signaling her to stay low. He peered around the corner and saw a group of Vakari drones advancing, their weapons scanning for life forms. Kai's mind raced. He grabbed a length of cable and a small power cell from his bag. With quick adjustments, he rigged an improvised trap, connecting the cable to the power cell. When the drones passed, he triggered it, sending a surge of electricity through the ground. Sparks flew, short-circuiting the drones and causing them to collapse in a heap of twisted metal. The soldier moved swiftly, covering Kai as he reset his tools. She dispatched any remaining threats with precision, using the suit's enhanced systems without hesitation. Kai couldn't help but marvel at the synergy between human ingenuity and enhanced human ability. Together, they were unstoppable in ways the Vakari could not anticipate. After the drones were neutralized, they continued their journey. The streets were quieter now, though the danger was far from over. Kai realized that survival depended on more than skill or strength. It required constant observation, adaptability, and the willingness to take calculated risks. Humans had these traits in abundance, and even against superior alien technology, they could find ways to endure and fight back. As they moved deeper into the city, the soldier finally spoke, her voice calm but filled with determination. "Humans have always been underestimated, yet time and again they survive. That's why I trust you to lead us safely." The words were simple, but their meaning was profound. Humans were capable of extraordinary feats, not because of machines or armor, but because of courage, creativity, and resilience. And now, with her by his side, he realized that even the impossible could become possible. They reached a small park, partially destroyed but still offering some cover. Kai allowed himself a brief rest, kneeling against a broken bench while the soldiers scanned the surroundings. The wind carried the scent of smoke and scorched metal, a constant reminder of the battle raging all around them. "You move well," Kai said finally, breaking the silence. "Better than most soldiers I've seen." Even enhanced or not, humans have a way of adapting in the moment. Strength without thought, courage without planning, even technology without ingenuity, none of it was enough to survive in this war. Humans had always relied on their minds as much as their bodies. The sun was beginning to dip behind the ruined skyline, casting long shadows across the park. Kai and the soldier knew they needed to find better shelter before nightfall. The Vakari moved faster in low visibility, their sensors detecting heat and movement with deadly precision. Kai pointed toward a partially destroyed building nearby. "We can rest there. It's not perfect, but it will keep us safe until morning." Kai realized that this mission, this unexpected encounter with the enhanced soldier, was teaching him something he had always known but had rarely seen in such stark clarity. Humanity was resourceful, clever, and resilient. Even in the face of overwhelming alien technology, humans had the power to survive, adapt, and fight back. As they settled into the shelter for the night, Kai allowed himself a rare moment of reflection. The enhanced soldier had already proven that humans could rise above limitations, that courage and ingenuity were as potent as any weapon. And he knew, deep down, that their journey together was just beginning. The battle was far from over, but Kai felt a flicker of hope. Humanity had always faced impossible odds, yet time and again it endured. And with her by his side, he realized that perhaps this time, humans could turn the tide. Outside, the city continued to burn, the war raging on. But inside the shelter, for the first time that day, Kai felt a sense of calm. He had repaired the armor without knowing who she was. Now he had witnessed human ingenuity, courage, and resilience firsthand. And he knew that, no matter what came next, humanity would not yield. They had survived the first test, but the real challenge was yet to come. And together, Kai and the enhanced soldier would face it, relying on the one thing the Vakari could never truly defeat, the human spirit. The night was restless. Kai and the enhanced soldier, whose name he still did not know, kept watch in the ruined building. The occasional hum of distant Vakari patrols reminded them that the city was far from safe. Inside, the air was heavy with dust and smoke, yet there was a sense of calm between them. Kai was learning to read her movements, the way she adjusted the armor, the way she scanned their surroundings with precision. Every action was deliberate, almost mechanical in perfection, yet he could sense the human intelligence behind it. Finally, after hours of tense silence, the soldier spoke. "I should tell you who I am," she said quietly, her voice steady. "It will change how you see this fight. My abilities are amplified but not limitless. I can think faster, move with greater precision, and react instinctively, but I am still human, still fallible." And more importantly, it made him understand the true potential of humanity. Humans might be fragile individually, but combined with creativity, courage, and ingenuity, they were unstoppable. "Why are you here alone?" he asked. "Where is your squad?" Most of them didn't survive the first encounter with the Vakari on this planet. I was sent ahead to scout, to gather intelligence. The mission failed, and I had to survive on my own. That's how I ended up in that armor, damaged and stranded. He felt a deep respect for her, not just for her enhancements, but for her spirit, her ability to survive where most would fail. "Then we move at dawn," he said firmly. "We need to get out of this zone and find others. We can't fight the Vakari alone." Smoke rose in columns, and the occasional flicker of laser fire marked distant skirmishes. Kai and the enhanced soldier prepared to move, checking weapons, systems, and armor. As they navigated the ruined streets, Kai noticed something remarkable. Even with enhanced abilities, she didn't rely solely on her enhancements. She used strategy, observation, and improvisation, the very qualities that defined humanity. When they encountered a collapsed building blocking their path, she didn't simply use strength to move it. She analyzed the debris, identified weak points, and directed Kai to rig a pulley system that allowed them to shift the rubble safely. Every action combined human ingenuity with enhanced skill. They were halfway across the city when movement caught their attention. A group of Vakari drones had found them. The aliens moved with mechanical precision, their weapons scanning for heat signatures. Kai froze, instinctively scanning the area for options. The enhanced soldier, however, remained calm. "Stay low," she instructed, her voice firm. "I'll handle this." Her moves were human ingenuity amplified, proving once again that humans could outthink even the most efficient machines. When the last drone fell, Kai exhaled. "You're incredible," he said, unable to hide his admiration. She shrugged modestly. "I am what humans can become when pushed to their limits, but even I could not do this without your help." Ingenuity, teamwork, adaptability. Those are human traits that even enhancements cannot replace. They continued toward the outskirts of the city, where Kai knew a hidden bunker might provide temporary safety. The journey was tense, with the threat of patrols around every corner. Kai took the lead, using his engineering knowledge to identify weak points in debris, rig improvised alarms, and calculate safe routes. She followed, offering guidance and occasional corrections, demonstrating how enhanced humans could complement ordinary human ingenuity. As they approached the bunker, they encountered a collapsed bridge spanning a chasm. Kai hesitated. The drop was too dangerous to cross directly. She assessed the situation, her eyes scanning every detail. "We can use the debris from the nearby buildings to create a makeshift bridge," she suggested. "It won't hold heavy machinery, but it will support us." Step by step, they crossed the gap, avoiding disaster through a combination of creativity, careful calculation, and courage. Once across, they entered the bunker. It was dimly lit but functional, stocked with supplies left behind by previous human occupants. Kai and the soldier took a moment to rest, assessing injuries and checking the suit systems. For the first time, Kai allowed himself to relax slightly. "I need to know your name," he said finally. She looked at him, her expression serious. "Call me Arya," she said. "That's all you need for now." In the chaos of war, small acknowledgments like this strengthened bonds and reminded them why humans fought. The hours passed with quiet preparation. Kai worked on fortifying the bunker, rigging alarms, and patching any remaining suit issues. Arya trained quietly, testing her systems, running simulations in her mind, preparing for the inevitable confrontation with the Vikari. Kai observed her, fascinated by the seamless integration of human intellect and enhanced capability. As night fell, the distant sounds of battle persisted. Yet in the bunker, there was a sense of focus and determination. Kai understood that survival depended not just on weapons or armor, but on the combination of human ingenuity and courage. With Arya's skills and his own expertise, they formed a partnership that could withstand challenges most humans would never face. Suddenly, a sharp alarm echoed through the bunker. Kai froze, recognizing the pattern. Vikari sensors were near. He looked at Arya, ready for action. She moved with calm precision, scanning the bunker, assessing escape routes and planning countermeasures. "They're close," she said. "We can't stay here. Follow me." He realized that humans were capable of extraordinary coordination when intelligence and courage combined. Finally, they emerged in a hidden exit that led to the outskirts of the city. The night air was cool, carrying the scent of smoke and metal. The stars above reminded Kai of the vastness of space, of the challenges humanity had faced and would continue to face. "Why did you freeze when you saw me?" Arya asked suddenly, breaking the silence. Kai looked at her, choosing his words carefully. "I didn't expect someone like you, someone who is human yet represents everything humanity can become. Courage, skill, intelligence, all in one. It's awe-inspiring. Enhancements help, but the true power lies in the human spirit. Ingenuity, adaptability, and courage, these are what make humans formidable. Even ordinary humans have it, I just amplify it." Humans were unpredictable, clever, and full of potential. And in Arya, he saw the pinnacle of what humanity could achieve when combined with determination and ingenuity. They set up a temporary camp outside the city, hidden among the ruins. Kai maintained their equipment while Arya monitored the surrounding area, planning for the next move. The partnership between human ingenuity and enhanced capability had been forged in battle, and it was proving to be unstoppable. Kai thought about the war, the Vikari, and the countless battles humanity had endured. Humans had survived not because they were the strongest or the most technologically advanced, but because they adapted, created, and persevered. And now, standing beside Arya, he felt a renewed sense of hope. Humans were not just survivors, they were innovators, fighters, and creators, and together they could face any challenge. The night stretched on, but Kai and Arya were prepared. The city might be lost, but the human spirit was unyielding. They had faced death, adapted, and survived. And as the first light of dawn began to pierce the horizon, Kai knew that humanity's ingenuity would continue to shine, even in the darkest hours. Outside, the war raged on. But inside, the partnership of Kai and Arya represented something far more powerful than any machine: the relentless, creative, and courageous spirit of humanity. And that spirit, Kai realized, could never be defeated. The sun rose over the ruins of the city, casting long shadows between the shattered buildings. Kai and Arya had spent the night preparing, repairing what they could, and planning their next move. The quiet moments had given them both time to assess the battlefield, but they knew that the day ahead would demand more than caution. It would demand action, ingenuity, and courage. Kai checked his tools and the small gadgets he had improvised for defense. Even though Arya's suit was fully functional, he knew that technology alone would not be enough. The Vikari were relentless, precise, and adaptive. Humans had survived against them not through strength alone, but through intelligence, creativity, and the ability to think outside the patterns that the machines expected. Today, they would need every bit of that advantage. "Are you ready?" Arya asked, her eyes scanning the horizon. Her calm demeanor never wavered, even as distant explosions echoed through the city. Kai nodded, though his heart raced. "As ready as I'll ever be, let's move before they detect us." Her strategies were remarkable, combining instinct with enhanced perception. It was clear that even ordinary humans could learn from her, adapting their methods and reactions based on her insights. As they approached a central plaza, they saw the source of the Vikari's recent attacks, a command unit coordinating drones and smaller patrols across the city. Kai felt a surge of urgency. If they could disrupt that command unit, they could turn the tide, even if just for a short time. "We need a plan," Kai whispered. "We can't take them head-on." He began pulling components from his bag, improvised devices that could emit EMP pulses, trip wires, and makeshift distractions. With Arya's guidance, they began setting up the battlefield, turning the city ruins into a maze of traps. Every obstacle, every rigged device was a testament to human ingenuity. The Vikari might have superior technology, but humans had creativity and adaptability. As the first patrol approached, Kai triggered a small EMP device. Sparks flew, and a section of the drones temporarily shut down. Arya moved with lightning speed, neutralizing the disabled units before they could recover. She was not just powerful, she was precise, strategic, and incredibly fast. Kai could see how humans, when combined with ingenuity and determination, could overcome even the most formidable technology. The Vikari quickly adapted, sending a larger wave of drones. Kai and Arya had anticipated this. They moved from cover to cover, using improvised barricades and rigged traps to channel the drones into narrow paths. The devices Kai had prepared disabled several units, while Arya used her suit's enhanced systems to disable others. The battle was intense, each move a combination of skill, observation, and creative problem-solving. Kai realized something vital: humans were unpredictable, clever, and capable of rapid adaptation. The Vikari were machines of precision, but they could not anticipate the full extent of human creativity. Arya was proof of that potential, but even without enhancements, humans had the ability to improvise, analyze, and act in ways the machines could not. As they advanced toward the command unit, the Vikari launched a heavy attack. Kai ducked behind a crumbling wall as energy blasts tore through the streets. Arya moved fluidly, her suit absorbing impacts while she directed Kai to safer positions. Together, they formed a partnership that combined enhanced capability with human ingenuity. Every action, every calculated risk, was designed to exploit the Vikari's weaknesses. Kai rigged another device, a combination of cables, scrap metal, and an improvised detonator. He set it near the command unit, using the Vikari's own patterns against them. Arya moved forward, drawing attention away from Kai and luring drones into his trap. The plan worked perfectly. The explosives disabled several units, sending the command unit into chaos. The battle raged on, but Kai and Arya maintained their focus. They worked seamlessly, one anticipating the other's moves, adapting to changing conditions, and exploiting weaknesses. Kai realized that humans were most dangerous when they worked together, combining creativity, courage, and intelligence. Machines might have precision and strength, but humans had innovation and adaptability, qualities the Vikari could not replicate. Finally, they reached the central command unit. Arya's suit allowed her to interface directly with the alien technology. Kai watched as she worked, her enhanced perception and quick thinking allowing her to disable the system from within. The Vikari drones paused, confused by the sudden shutdown. Humans had turned the tide, if only temporarily, using intelligence, improvisation, and courage. Kai felt a surge of pride. Humanity had survived not by strength alone, but by thinking, adapting, and acting. Arya's enhancements had helped, yes, but the foundation of their success was human ingenuity. He realized that even ordinary humans, when clever and courageous, could achieve remarkable feats. The Vekari began to retreat, regrouping to assess the unexpected failure. Kai and Arya used the moment to move back towards safer ground, maintaining vigilance. Every street, every alley could hold new dangers, but they had proven that humans were capable of facing impossible odds and surviving. As they rested briefly behind a barricade, Kai looked at Arya. "You're incredible," he said. "Not just your abilities, but your strategy, your mind, it's all human at its core." Even without enhancements, humans can achieve extraordinary things. The city was still dangerous, but the temporary victory gave them breathing room. Kai and Arya moved cautiously, checking for patrols and using their knowledge of the terrain to stay ahead of potential threats. Every movement, every decision was guided by human intelligence and adaptability. As they reached a relatively safe zone on the outskirts of the city, Kai allowed himself a moment to reflect. Humans were resilient, they were creative, they were unpredictable, and when combined with courage and teamwork, they could overcome even the most advanced alien technology. Arya, sensing his thoughts, spoke quietly. "This is only the beginning. The Vekari will adapt, but so will we. Humans are not limited by rules, by programming, by predictability. That is why we survive." The day's battle had proven that humans were more than survivors. They were innovators, fighters, and thinkers. And with Arya by his side, Kai felt a renewed sense of hope. Humans were capable of greatness beyond imagination, and even in the face of overwhelming odds, they could endure and triumph. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the battlefield. Kai and Arya prepared for the night, knowing that danger would not cease but confident in their abilities to survive and adapt. Humanity's spirit was unyielding, and today they had proven it once more. Kai looked at Arya, the enhanced soldier who represented the pinnacle of human potential. "We'll face whatever comes next," he said. "And we'll survive because that's what humans do." The Vekari might have technology, speed, and precision, but humans had something far stronger, the ability to think, adapt, and create solutions when none seemed possible. And with that, humanity would endure, thrive, and ultimately triumph. Kai knew that the battles ahead would test every skill, every ounce of courage, and every moment of ingenuity they possessed. But he also knew that humans were capable of facing impossible odds and emerging victorious. And with Arya beside him, he felt ready to face anything the universe could throw at them. The city was still in flames, the war far from over, but a small spark of hope burned brighter. Humans had survived against impossible odds before, and they would survive again. Today had proven it, and tomorrow would only show the full strength of human ingenuity, courage, and spirit. Kai adjusted his tools, checked Arya's armor one last time, and set his eyes on the horizon. Humanity was unyielding. Humanity was creative. Humanity was unstoppable. And together they would continue to fight, adapt, and survive, no matter the odds. The city lay in ruins, smoke rising in thick columns that darkened the sky. Kai and Arya stood on a high rooftop, overlooking the streets below. The Vekari had regrouped, sending waves of drones and mechanical soldiers to secure the city. This was their final push, their last attempt to eliminate the remaining humans. Kai's heart pounded, but he knew fear would not help. Today, humans would rely on ingenuity, courage, and resilience, not just strength, to survive and fight back. Arya checked her suit one last time, the advanced systems humming softly. "This is it," she said calmly. "We either turn the tide here, or humanity loses another city." Kai had spent hours preparing improvised devices, traps, EMP pulses, and diversion systems. Every step of their plan relied on anticipation and creativity, the very traits that gave humans an edge against mechanical precision. The first wave of drones appeared, gliding silently over the rubble. Arya acted instantly, guiding Kai as they triggered traps and pulsed EMP devices. Sparks flew, machines collapsed, and the humans advanced. Every action was calculated, every movement precise, yet unpredictable, exactly what the Vekari could not anticipate. Kai felt a surge of pride. Humanity had always relied on creativity and teamwork to survive. Even when faced with enemies far stronger or faster, they had endured. And today, they were proving it once more. Arya leapt forward, moving with a speed that seemed impossible, her suit absorbing minor impacts while she disabled drones with swift, precise strikes. Kai watched in awe, realizing that her enhancements amplified human ingenuity, not replaced it. Every trap Kai had set was more effective because she could anticipate enemy movement and react instantly. Together, they were unstoppable. The battle intensified as a larger unit of Vekari soldiers emerged, moving methodically to crush all resistance. Kai and Arya retreated slightly, drawing the enemy into narrow streets lined with debris and rigged traps. The first soldiers were caught in improvised snares, their circuits overloaded by Kai's EMP devices. The Vekari adapted, but humans adapted faster. Each obstacle forced the machines into predictable patterns, which Kai and Arya exploited to devastating effect. Arya paused, scanning the battlefield. "We need to hit their command hub directly," she said. "If we can disable it, the rest of their forces will be disorganized." "You guide me." Humanity's ingenuity was on full display. Every device, every movement, every calculation was designed to exploit weaknesses in the alien systems. Finally, they reached the command hub. Arya interfaced with the alien machinery, her enhanced systems analyzing the complex circuits. Kai worked quickly, reinforcing the devices and ensuring that the hub would be disabled. Time was critical. Every second they delayed allowed more Vekari to adapt. The first pulse activated. Machines faltered, sparks flying as circuits overloaded. The hub's systems struggled to maintain control, and the drones below began to malfunction. Arya directed Kai to adjust the final settings. The combination of human ingenuity, courage, and adaptability was overwhelming the Vekari, showing that even the most advanced machines could not predict the creative solutions of humans. Kai glanced at Arya. "Ready?" he asked. She nodded. "Do it." Drones toppled, and the remaining Vekari soldiers became disoriented, their movements erratic. Kai felt a surge of hope. Humanity had turned the tide, not with sheer force, but with intelligence, creativity, and adaptability, the traits that defined their species. The battle raged on around them, but the humans now held the advantage. Citizens who had hidden in shelters emerged cautiously, inspired by the display of human courage and ingenuity. Ordinary humans, working with enhanced allies, began to reclaim streets, using traps, improvised weapons, and strategies they had learned from observation. It was a testament to human potential. Even under overwhelming odds, humans could find ways to survive, fight, and triumph. Kai and Arya moved through the streets, guiding groups of survivors and disabling remaining drones. Every obstacle they overcame reinforced a truth that had become clear over the past days. Humanity's strength was not just in technology or physical power, but in creativity, teamwork, and the courage to face the impossible. Finally, the Vekari began to retreat, regrouping for a potential counterattack. But humanity had shown them something they could not calculate or predict. Humans were unpredictable, adaptable, and clever. Machines could be strong, precise, and fast, but they could not replicate the ingenuity of the human mind or the courage of a determined spirit. Kai and Arya paused on a high vantage point, looking over the city. Fires still burned, and the ruins of battle were everywhere, but humans had survived. They had fought with intelligence, strategy, and teamwork, proving that courage and creativity were as formidable as any weapon. Arya turned to Kai. "Today was proof of what humans can do," she said. "Even without enhancements, ordinary humans have the potential to survive and triumph against overwhelming odds." Humans were clever, resourceful, and resilient, and together they could overcome anything. As the sun set, the city seemed to breathe again, slowly recovering from the chaos. Survivors began to rebuild, inspired by the courage and ingenuity that had carried them through the battle. Kai realized that this victory was not just about survival, it was about proving that humans, when pushed to their limits, could achieve greatness. Arya surveyed the streets with a calm determination. "There will be more battles," she said, "but humans will be ready. We adapt, we create, we survive, and we will continue to fight no matter the odds." He had learned a vital lesson in the past days. Humanity's strength was limitless when intelligence, courage, and teamwork combined. Machines could calculate and predict, but humans could innovate, improvise, and act in ways that no algorithm could anticipate. That was why humans endured, why they triumphed, and why they inspired hope even in the darkest hours. Together, Kai and Arya moved through the city, assisting survivors, disarming remaining drones, and setting up defenses for the next challenge. Humanity had survived another trial, stronger, smarter, and more united than before. Every action, every solution, every moment of courage had reinforced the truth. Humans were capable of greatness beyond imagination. The city would rebuild. Humans would continue to fight. And Kai knew deep down that no matter the odds, humanity would always endure. Standing beside Arya on a rooftop overlooking the recovering city, he felt a profound sense of hope. The Vakari might return, stronger and more numerous, but humans had something machines could never replicate: creativity, courage, ingenuity, and an unyielding spirit. Kai turned to Arya. "We did it, not just because of technology or strength, but because we used our minds, our creativity, and our courage. Humans are unstoppable when we work together. Never forget it." Kai took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the past days and the promise of the future. The world was far from safe, but humans had proven once again that they were capable of extraordinary feats. They had survived, fought, and inspired hope through intelligence, creativity, and courage. He looked at Arya, the enhanced soldier who embodied the pinnacle of human potential, and felt a surge of determination. Together, they represented the best of humanity: resilient, ingenious, and unstoppable. The Vakari might return, but humans would be ready. And when they did, humans would meet them not with fear, but with courage, innovation, and the unyielding will to survive. Kai knew the truth now: humanity was more than flesh and bone. It was creativity, courage, and spirit combined. It was unyielding, it was unstoppable, and it would endure.